Good morning, everyone. I'm Miguel Ramapan.
And I'm Ashley Cost, and we will be your MCs for the week. Before we begin our program for this morning, we kindly ask that you place your mobile devices on silent mode to ensure an uninterrupted program.
At this time, we kindly request that everyone stand for a moment of silence to pay our respects, reflect and honor the memory of our late Governor Arnold Indalecio Palacios. He served our islands with deep compassion and dedication. Governor Palacios was a strong supporter of our office, our initiatives, and our conference. Thank you. Please be seated.
Before we proceed with the opening plenary session, we would like to acknowledge and extend our gratitude to our partners who have contributed their time and resources to ensure a successful conference as we build cultures of accountability throughout the Pacific. CNMI Office of the Governor and Lieutenant Governor, Northern Marianas College, Rhoda Mayor's Office, Marianas Visitors Authority, Northern Marianas Technical Institute, CNMI Public School System, Department of Public Safety, CNMI Homeland Security and Emergency Management Office, Commonwealth Ports Authority, and the Roman Catholic Diocese of Chalankanoa. On behalf of the Associations of Pacific Island Public Auditors, the CNMI Office of the Public Auditor, the Department of Interior Office of Insular Affairs, the Graduate School, and the Pacific Islands Virgin Islands Training Initiative, we would like to extend a warm hafa-day in Tiro to all of you and welcome you to the 36th Annual APIPA Conference.
Viva APIPA!
Viva! We are honored to host our participants and guests from near and far here in the beautiful island of Saipan, one of the many islands in the Mariana Archipelago. This week we come together as friends and colleagues from across the Pacific and the U.S. mainland to learn, share, and strengthen our commitment to transparency and good governance. We highlight this year's theme, Building Cultures of Accountability.
To begin our program, we now welcome the Marianas High School Dolphin Battalion. Commanding and carrying the U.S. flag is Cadet First Lieutenant Ciano Dan. Carrying the CNMI flag is Cadet Master Sergeant Wen Wanyin. The left rifle guard is Cadet Sergeant Laga Marvi. And the right rifle guard is Cadet Sergeant Rivera Dino. We now welcome the Poksay Chamorro Club of Marianas High School and Guma Simizan Manyaynata for our traditional Chamorro cultural welcoming chant.
Can you please stand?
Tawaifi kulu zataga ngi totota, taga tota Pacificu para nenu lina lata, Luzan, Kotan, Hodzan, Logo, Toto Pacifico, na Guaifi kulu pago.
Please remain standing. We have an opening prayer from the Sinumai's very own Father James Balahadian.
Let us pray. Lord God, in this moment, we humble ourselves before your divine majesty. We thank you for allowing us to gather as professionals and people of goodwill. You have blessed us with our intellect, skills, and talents. Help us to always use them for the greater good of our islands and the service of our brothers and sisters. We ask that you send down upon us your choicest blessings, upon all of us gathered for this time of ongoing formation, collaboration, and awareness. Help us to journey through this life, all while administering justice, patience, and understanding. Keep all of us safe and watch over us now and always. Amen.
You may be seated. It's time to introduce the most feared and respected public servants in our region, our PIPA principals. We kindly ask each principal to remain standing after their name is called until all introductions of the principals are complete. So starting from the far right of the stage, from American Samoa's Territorial Audit Office, we have Mr. Mike Edmonds. From Guam's Office of Public Accountability, we have Mr. Benjamin Cruz. From Chuuk State's Office of the Public Auditor, we have Ms. Rosalinda Mori. From the Republic of the Marshall Islands Office of the Auditor General, we have Junior Patrick. From Palau's Office of the Public Auditor, we have Saturnino Tewid. From Pohnpei State's Office of the Public Auditor, we have Mr. Eric Paul. Representing the Federal States of Micronesia, Office of the National Public Auditor, on behalf of Mr. Hazel Heinrich, is Mr. Brandon Rodriguez. Representing the Cotswold State Office of the Public Auditor, on behalf of Mr. Pelican Kilafashu, Ms. Alice George. From Yap State's Office of the Public Auditor, we have Brian DeBuxi. And from the Sinumai's Office of the Public Auditor, we have Ms. Dora De Leon Guerrero. We would also like to recognize our PIPA principals who are now present with us today. From the Office of the Virgin Islands Inspector General, Ms. Delia Thomas. From the Samoa Audit Office, Mr. Fumano Camille Afele. From Fiji's Office of the Auditor General, Ms. Finau Nagera. One more round of applause, please, for our PIPA principals. Yes, take a seat now.
Now it's time to introduce our instructors who will inspire and educate us throughout the week. We kindly ask our instructors to stand and give a quick wave to our participants. Mr. Robert Adichie. Mr. David Bean. Mr. Michael Binder. Mr. Frank Crawford. Mr. David House, Mr. Drummond Kahn, Ms. Catherine Kovacek, Ms. Esther Lameko Poutua, Ms. Beth Schubert, and Ms. Jean Yamamura.
We would also like to acknowledge our special guests who are with us today. We have Assistant Inspector General for Audits, Inspections and Evaluations for the U.S. Department of Interior, Office of the Inspector General, Ms. Nikki Miller. The Deputy Assistant of Insular International Affairs for the U.S. Department of Interior, Mr. Angel Demapan. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it today. However, we have a video for his keynote address. We also have the Assistant United States Attorney for the Districts of Guam and the NMI, Mr. Eric S. O'Malley. We also have two former public auditors of the CNMI and past APIPA principals. We have Mr. Mike Pai and Ms. Kina B. Peter. We also would like to recognize the Inspector General for the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, Mr. Michael Horowitz, who is not here with us today, but he will be joining us shortly via Zoom. Also joining us this week is the Speaker of the Soquays Municipality, Honorable Perez Amarek.
Please join us in welcoming CNMI's temporary public auditor, Ms. Dora I. DeLeon Guerrero, to the stage for her welcoming remarks.
Good morning. Good morning. Before I do my welcoming remarks, everyone please join me in giving a big round of applause to my wonderful team, the OPA office of the CNMI. Without them, this would not have been possible. I also want to recognize the presence of our Governor Apatine, seated up here in the... Hafade, Tirawami, and welcome. On behalf of the Association of the Pacific Island Public Auditors, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome you all to the 36th Annual APIPA Conference. We are truly delighted to gather here with such a dedicated and diverse group of professionals, all united by our shared commitment to good governance, transparency, and the higher standards of public accountability. This year's theme, Building Cultures of Accountability, speaks directly to the heart of our mission. Accountability is not just a set of procedures or checklists, it is a living, breathing culture that we must nurture within our organizations and across our island communities. Together, we are here to learn, share, and inspire one another as we continue building systems that foster trust, integrity, responsible stewardship of public resources. Over the coming days, you will have opportunities to engage with leaders, public auditors, instructors, participate in skill building workshops, and exchange ideas with peers from across the Pacific. We encourage each of you to take full advantage of this time, ask questions, share your experiences, and forge new partnerships that will strengthen our collective impact. None of this would be possible without the unwavering support of our partners. We extend our deepest gratitude to the U.S. Department of Interior, Office of Insular Affairs, and Graduate School USA. Your steadfast commitment to capacity building and professional development in our region has been instrumental to APIPA's success and the advancement of public accountability throughout the Pacific. As we embark on this exciting conference, let us remember that cultures of accountability we build today will shape the future of our islands for generations to come. Thank you all for your dedication, passion, and presence here this week. Let's make this 36th annual APIPA conference our best yet. Sidus Masi, thank you and welcome.
Next, we are honored to welcome the Honorable Governor of the CNMI, David Mundo Apatay.
I need my other pure rice. Got it. Good morning. Thank you, Father James, for giving us a blessing this morning. I think everybody needs a blessing early in the morning. But thank you. I know we missed Mass this morning. Good morning. Buenos dias, Hafades and Tiro. I am very pleased to see a very large crowd gathered here this morning to begin the 2025 Association of Pacific Island Public Auditors week-long workshop. Looking at your calendar, I am sure the outcome of this week will be a deeper and more meaningful understanding of the important work you all do in auditing and public accountability. But before saying more, please let me first welcome everyone to our beautiful Northern Mariana Islands. Welcome and have a Hafades and Tiro. I know some of you traveled far to be here, and your flight experience might have been a little tiring. Well, Lieutenant Governor Dennis Mendiola and I want to express our biggest thank you for making the trip, and we hope you'll find time to rest and enjoy our island of Saipan during your stay here. Lieutenant Governor Mendiola and I want to recognize those whose hard work made this workshop possible. Thank you to the APIPA Chair, Dora de Leon Guerrero, and your entire team for spending your time, dedication, and energy in planning this event. You've created an environment where participants can learn, exchange views, share agreements and disagreements, and develop initiative, collaboration, reciprocity to better improve the results of what you do. A welcome to our native son, actually, Angel de Mapan. I was going to say welcome, but I think we gave him homework. I just came back from DC this morning at 1:30, so that's probably why he's not here. No, we want to say thank you to Angel. He promised me he's going to be here, but I think the Deputy Secretary of Interior gave him an assignment. So thank you, Angel. Like I said, actually, I just returned from Washington, D.C., where I had a chance to work with OIA on matters related to our Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. So Sidus Masi Angel, he was there with us, sitting all the time with us in Washington, involving matters that relate our issues in the CNMI. This 2025 APIPA workshop is offered and made possible thanks to the continued commitment of the Department of Interior Office of Insular Affairs. Their support helps strengthen capacity building, technical expertise, and greater independence in how the insular areas manage both simple and complex responsibilities. So thank you, DOI, OIA, and thank you to Angel for always working with us also, and the team at OIA. As public auditors and accountants and everything related to public accountancy, I am sure your work is not simple. You must deal with many rules, policies, guidelines, laws, and regulations, and standards, some straightforward and simple, and others a bit complicated, that govern the work you do and your conduct. I do not envy you, for you have to be impartial, transparent, accountable, and watchful not to cross any thin line that can put into question your integrity. I respect and admire you for your independence, forthrightness, resoluteness, and fortitude. I know that this is like saying a lot, but work that you do and your responsibilities that follow you wherever you go and with whoever you acquaint with rightly fit those words. I want to end by saying, please enjoy your stay and time at this workshop. Learn as much as you can and remain faithful to your critical roles as public auditors, accountants, and public servants. Good luck, and I hope you will have time to experience our beauty of our island of Saipan before you return home. And please spend all your money here before you leave. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker has over 25 years experience as an auditor and has led audits, inspections, and evaluations related to contracting and grants, as well as efficiencies in the DOI programs. Please join us in welcoming Ms. Nikki Miller, the Assistant Inspector General of the U.S. Department of Interior, Office of the Inspector General, for her remarks.
Good morning and welcome to APIPA 2025, the 36th Annual Conference for the Association of the Pacific Island Public Auditors. It's so good to see so many familiar faces. I'm Nikki Miller, the Assistant Inspector General for Audits, Inspections, and Evaluations for the Department of Interior, OIG. Congress has given the DOI, OIG important audit responsibilities in several U.S. territories and the freely associated states. The Inspector General performs the functions of government comptroller in American Samoa, the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, Guam, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. We also have audit responsibilities in the Federated States of Micronesia, the Republic of the Marshall Islands, and the Republic of Palau. Our work is different from, yet complementary to your work as public auditors. We take our obligations seriously. Our participation in this week's training conference is an important part of our commitment in this regard. I'm delighted to be here in Saipan with several colleagues from my DOI-OIG team. I'm honored to share the stage with Governor Apatang, the temporary public auditor from CNMI, Ms. De Leon Guerrero, and the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Insular and International Affairs, Angel Delapa, APIPA principals, and other distinguished guests and instructors. I'd also like to thank the Department of Interior's Office of Insular Affairs and the Graduate School USA for their continued support, which has been significant in making this event a success. I would be remiss if I didn't also thank our hosts for all their hard work this year. Thank you to the CNMI Office of the Public Auditor for hosting and organizing this large event. For almost 4 decades, This forum has served to promote efficiency and accountability in the use of public resources in the Pacific Islands. It provides a unique opportunity to discuss audits and financial management in the region. As we gather this week, I hope you will find ways to connect and interact with one another, exchange ideas and experiences, and identify solutions to common questions or problems you see in your roles as public auditors in the Pacific Islands. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to engage with you all as well. Our collective dedication to enhancing efficiency, transparency, and integrity is reflected in this year's conference theme, Building Cultures of Accountability. We, of course, are particularly focused on our commitment to continuous improvement in public audit and finance, a goal that is pivotal to the government effectiveness. Although we all have distinct roles and responsibilities, auditors, investigators, finance professionals, grant managers, and other government officials, we share the same goal, namely to promote the best stewardship of government resources to serve the citizens of our communities. Productive and, when appropriate, collaborative engagement is the best way to achieve these goals. Your role in protecting the integrity of federal dollars is more important than ever. That's why I'm so pleased that there are so many interesting learning opportunities on the agenda this week, including classes on grant auditing, contract auditing, understanding the single audit. There will be also valuable opportunities to learn more about the nuts and bolts of procurement fraud, artificial intelligence in the workplace, and strengthening collaboration for oversight. Of course, I'm confident you will get a lot of our investigations classes being taught by my colleagues from the DOI-OIG team. First, they'll be teaching basic investigations, covering developing an investigative plan, finding fraud, assessing organizational risk, building sources, and understanding fraud schemes. You will also have the opportunity to dive deeper into advanced investigation issues, including forensic accounting, advanced documentation, and report writing. The DOI team is excited to engage with you and provide case studies, practical tips, and oversight strategies. So my advice for you all this week is simple. Take advantage of this opportunity. Meet new people, build new relationships, and above all, don't let the conversations that you begin here today end when you leave Saipan. Thank you all for the great work you do and for your ongoing commitment to public service and good governance.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now for our keynote address, we have the Deputy Assistant of Insular and International Affairs for the U.S. Department of Interior, Mr. Angel Demapan.
Day, Tiro, and greetings, everyone. It is a true pleasure to appear before you, although virtually, for the 36th Annual Association of Pacific Islands Public Auditors Conference, otherwise known as APIC. For those I've never met, my name is Angel Demapan, and I serve as Deputy Assistant Secretary for Insular and International Affairs at the U.S. Department of the Interior here in Washington, D.C. Prior to this, I had the privilege of working as Legislative Director to Congresswoman Kimberly King, and earlier, the tremendous honor of serving 3 terms in the CNMI legislature. I'm proud that the CNMI Office of the Public Auditor is hosting this year's conference. Congratulations to Dora, the younger Reverend, and her outstanding team for bringing everyone together. APIPA has always spanned vast distances, but from the Western Pacific to the U.S. Virgin Islands, our mission is shared: to strengthen transparency, accountability, and good governance across our island communities. For 36 years, APIPA has carried that mission forward, helping us share knowledge, refine skills, and improve how governments manage public resources. This year's theme, Building Cultures of Accountability, says it best. It is about strengthening governance, transparency, and public trust, not for the moment, but for the long term. As auditors and financial managers, you are the backbone of this effort. Your work safeguards public funds, promotes transparency, and builds trust in the decisions our governments make. Together, we are advancing good governance, integrity, and accountability throughout the Pacific. Looking ahead, the demand for strong financial stewardship will only grow. Our islands face challenges that range from fiscal discipline to building modern financial systems. Leadership and competent financial management are what make the difference. Good governance, in every sense of the word, is the ultimate goal. And while it can be difficult to define, it is always easy to recognize. We know when jurisdictions are moving in the right direction. That brings me to a matter of serious concern: audit timeliness and audit quality. Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary Hay has made it abundantly clear that this is our top compliance priority. And I want to underscore that message here today. Audits are not just paperwork, not just another box to check. They are the very foundation of financial credibility. They tell us whether public funds are being spent properly, whether systems are functioning as intended, and whether the trust placed in us by the people we serve is being honored. Without timely and reliable audits, confidence begins to erode. Development projects stall, federal partnerships weaken, and our ability to secure future resources is put at risk. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not theoretical. It is real. Every delay, every missed deadline risks slowing down the programs our communities depend on, like healthcare, infrastructure, education, and disaster recovery. As Pitas Haig put it just last week to leaders of the FSM and the RMI at the Joint Economic Management meeting, he said, "I would prefer to focus on development projects in progress, but without resolving audit delays and reducing adverse findings, funding flows and project implementation will be restricted." Oversight pressure is real, from our Inspector General, from the GAO, and from Congress. If progress is not shown, we may be forced to withhold grant payments, suspend projects, or designate jurisdictions as high risk. My friends, those words by Mr. Haig are not meant as a threat. They are a reflection of the reality we all face. This is why OIA has provided $250,000 to each jurisdiction to accelerate progress. But resources alone will not solve the problem. Success requires leadership, it requires discipline, and it requires the will to make audit timeliness and quality a top priority at every level of government. The goal for this accelerated timeline is clear: submission of FY 2023 audits by the end of 2025, preferably by this October, FY 2024 audits by June 2026, FY 2025 audits by December 2026, and FY 2026 audits by June 2027. This is how we get back on track. I know this is not easy. I know that capacity challenges, staff shortages, and competing demands are real. But we cannot afford to let those challenges become excuses. Our island governments deserve to be seen as strong, credible partners. And that credibility depends on audits that are timely, accurate, and complete. I ask each of you here today to view audit timeliness and quality not just as a technical requirement, but as a shared responsibility. Progress must be visible, results must be measurable, and accountability must be embraced, not because Washington demands it, but because our island communities deserve it. As we look ahead to the intense agenda for this week, I am proud of OIA's continued partnership with the people and the Graduate School USA. Their training and expertise are vital to building the skills and confidence you will take home from this week's session. Let me close by recognizing the leadership of APIPA and all of you, the participants, for 36 years of commitment to professional excellence in public service. From its modest beginnings in 1989 with only a few auditors, APIPA has grown into a respected professional network that makes a lasting impact on how our governments manage public resources. Whether you're from Guam, American Samoa, Palau, Pohnpei, Chuuk, Kushroi, Yap, the Marshall Islands, or the CNMI, your presence makes this conference meaningful. The technical training is invaluable, but the relationships you build, the experiences you share, and the best practices you exchange are equally as powerful. I trust you will take what you gain here and put it to work in your home jurisdiction. Congratulations once again to APIPA's leaders and principals for 36 years of making a difference. I wish you all a productive, insightful, and successful conference here in Saipan. And as a fellow resident of Saipan, I wish you all a wonderful visit and a wonderful stay and safe journey as you make your way home at the end of this week. Thank you, Jesus Masi, and all more.
Buenas holidays and Tito, everyone. Welcome to Saipan. Today, we are joining us in virtual to deliver a special message to this year's APIPA participants is an attorney and government official. He previously served as Inspector General of the United States Department of Justice from 2012 to 2025. Our honorary guest now serves as the Inspector General for the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System and Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Please welcome Mr. Michael Horowitz.
Thank you for that introduction, Hafidai, and it's an honor for me to have an opportunity to speak to all of you at your important gathering of public auditors and integrity professionals from across the Pacific Islands. My biggest wish, though, is that I could be there with you all in person. I had the honor of visiting Guam back in 1988 when I was working, and I am looking forward to coming back, hopefully, and visiting all of the Pacific Islands. I had a wonderful experience there. So thank you for allowing me to be with you virtually. I spent some time looking at the program and what you're going to be learning and about the theme of this year's conference, building cultures of accountability. And that could not be a more timely or essential issue about which to build a conference like this. Each of us play a critical role in ensuring accountability, and we all carry a shared responsibility, one that transcends borders and cultures to protect the public's trust in our governments and our institutions. We also understand that accountability isn't simply about compliance. It's about values. It's about ensuring that the governments we oversee create systems and expectations, namely a strong culture that fosters good governance, ensures transparency, and upholds the rule of law. And ultimately, what we do serves the public, those who rely on government programs to be managed efficiently, effectively, and free of waste and corruption. I've had the honor of being an Inspector General for the past 13 plus years. Most of that, as you heard recently, leaving the Justice Department, U.S. Department of Justice, now being at the Federal Reserve Board of Governors and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And in that 13 plus years, I've seen firsthand how essential strong oversight is to effective government and how critical a role that inspectors generals and public auditors have in performing that oversight. So by coming together for this conference, sharing lessons learned, highlighting best practices, and learning from each other's experiences, you're strengthening not only your individual offices, but the broader culture of accountability across the Pacific Islands, but also across the entire oversight community, because we are all one community. And I've seen that, particularly as I've worked with public auditors very closely over the last 5 years in doing oversight over pandemic-related spending. And we've been very fortunate to bring together the entire accountability community to share those lessons learned and to highlight best practices. And so it's wonderful that you're continuing to do that at this year's conference. I've also seen and know that the challenges we all face, addressing the misuse of public funds, the gaps we see in internal controls, the political pressures we can face, and the limited resources we have aren't unique to one agency, one public auditor, one inspector general, but they're really global challenges for all of us. And it's through this collaboration and partnership, like those that APIPA is fostering through these conferences, that we're able to address them more effectively and perform the enormous responsibilities and duties we have as oversight professionals. So let me say thank you for all the work you do. When you perform your investigations that safeguard public funds, when you do the audits that uncover weaknesses and recommend reforms, and when you engage in outreach efforts that help build public trust in government. And how you do that when you collaborate with each other and learn from each other. You are the eyes and ears of accountability. And we are jointly working together to foster not only our relationships, but to improve our profession. And your presence at the conference is a powerful reminder that integrity is in fact a shared pursuit and a shared promise. So as your conference for 2025 is about to begin, thanks to APIPA for pulling all of you together to share those experiences. And I hope and encourage each of you to take full advantage of the expertise that will be with you in the coming days, as well as the shared challenges that you can learn from and the problems that we all face. Ask hard questions of each other. Share bold ideas with each other. Come up with those great ways of moving forward more effectively in what we do. And let's all work together to continue to raise the bar for our profession, for oversight, and most importantly, for what we care so deeply about, which is good governance in the programs that we oversee. I'm proud to be colleagues with each of you. I wish I could be there to meet each of you in person and to engage with each of you. I hope you will reach out to me if you have any questions or would like to engage further. I always enjoy getting a chance to meet with my partners and colleagues in these professions that we have because of everything we have to do and so much, how we can learn so much from each other. And I very much and deeply appreciate all of your relentless pursuits of effective oversight, the commitment you've made to ensuring ethical leadership in your governments, and to your dedication to building a stronger, more accountable future. The public is indeed fortunate to have your public service and the efforts you make to make their lives better and our communities stronger. So as you kick off this event, this conference, APIPA 2025, keep up the great work. And I hope you have a valuable and impactful learning experience over the next few days. I look forward to hearing how this conference goes, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for having me here with you to start this event, and best of wishes to everybody at the conference. Whatever you'd like.
Maybe I'll kick it off, General Horowitz.
Right.
Here in the Pacific, we have a lot of challenges with federal funding. There is a lot of issues involving, and I'm sure you know this because you were the chairman of the PREP. There's a lot of issues concerning COVID funds, ARPA funds and related funds that were issued by the federal government during the pandemic. Can you tell us, based on your experience, what are some of the things that you and PRAC see which are the most problematic throughout the U.S. and in the Pacific?
Yes, thank you. That's a great question. And I have spent the last 5 years conducting oversight of what is now $5 trillion in pandemic spending. And one of the things we did was build an analytics platform to help us find the fraud. And what we've learned is a couple of very important lessons. First was how agencies sent the money out initially based solely on the word of the applicant in many instances that they were entitled to the money. They simply self-certified that they were in fact who they said they were, that they in fact had the business that they said they had, or for unemployment, that they were in fact unemployed, when the reality was they were fraudsters. They weren't really the person they represented. They didn't really have the business they said they had. And rather than take even the most minimal steps to check to confirm identities, agencies simply sent out the money in response to the application in many instances. That was particularly true for the Small Business Administration at the outset of the pandemic and the unemployment insurance programs. And they set up this false choice, and I would strongly encourage all of you to push back if this comes up again in the future, which was there were only two choices they made. One was send the money out immediately because it was an emergency with no controls or few controls, remove all the guardrails, send the money out. And they presented the alternative as being months and months and months of delay. The reality is, as we all know in the oversight profession, that the truth can be somewhere in between. That you can have some checks, some basic checks on identity or income verification without delaying the release of funds for more than a few days or at most a week or two. And that's what we saw through the work we did. Even the most basic checks, and we've put out, by the way, reports on this. Go to our website, pandemicoversight.gov, and you will see this, our reports. Even the most basic oversights would have saved the federal government literally tens of billions of dollars. That's just for the identity fraud, identity theft related matters. Obviously, there was a lot more going on than just that. But that would be the first thing. The next is, hopefully we don't have another pandemic. But as we all know, we will have another unexpected event, like a hurricane, like a cyclone, like a tornado, like fires, whatever it is, we're going to face that. The federal government and local governments are going to want to get money out to the community. The time to preparing isn't after the tragedy happens. The time to prepare is before the tragedy, before the inevitable event occurs. It may not be a pandemic, but it will be something. And what we saw were agencies that could have expected to be getting out funds, maybe not for a pandemic, but for other emergencies, being caught flat-footed, not being prepared at all, not having the systems in place to do the work that needed to be done. And I think for us as oversight professionals, and I learned this from working with public auditors from around the country and from territories and other parts and counterparts, frankly, in Australia and the UK, where I've met with also, which is the time that what we need to do is give advice to our agencies that we oversee on how they can prepare before and be better enabled to address the inevitable tragedy that's going to happen at some point through a cyclone, a hurricane, fires, etc. And so that would be the other thing I would mention. And then finally, I would ensure that, like we've talked to members of Congress about, but to our local officials, about putting in place a regime that helps advance accountability without unnecessarily delaying delivery of benefits. Both can be managed, and that really has to come from talking to all of you and partnering with all of you and wanting to see that happen. Because all too often what I've found over my 13 years is agencies view their mission as just getting the money out, not making sure they're getting the money out to the right people all the time. And what people forget is every dollar that didn't go to a small business, every dollar that didn't go to an unemployed individual who was desperately in need of the money, went to a fraudster. And that money, it was a fixed pie. It wasn't as if that money was going to end up in the right hand. So very important, I think, for us to take our expertise and share it with the agencies we oversee. We started doing that, but unfortunately, we were only asked to do that after, in many instances, the money had gone out. But we did, when that started, that engagement started happening, we were able to better prepare the agencies by giving them our best learned advice on how they could better prepare.
Thank you, General. We really appreciate that. I have another question, and this one is related to how can we get these the grantor agencies that give all these grants to like folks out here in the Pacific? How do we get them to get involved in assisting the offices of the public auditors here in our region to go over and kind of start auditing some of the fundings that have been thrown our way, in the sense that there are abuses, there are lots of lack of internal controls, and that's where we see the misspending of public resources. Is there any way to get the grantors a little bit more participative, in a sense, like reaching out to our office to kind of guide us, because we don't have the resources nor the ability to do these things, because they're very resource intense, and we just don't have that capacity.
I completely understand. That's a very significant challenge. One thing I would actually encourage you to do, if it's on the federal government side, and a grant-making agency on the federal side, I'd encourage you to reach out to the Inspector General from that agency and speak with them about what they're doing, because, again, putting on my hat from when I was the Justice Department Inspector General, which gave out several $1 billion in grants each year, one of the things we started doing with the Justice Department grant-making arms is we started having them setting up events that brought together the agency, the Inspector General, and the grantees, so that we could all be there together, speaking to the challenges each of us uniquely face. And that was very effective. And so one of the things I think would be valuable is reaching out to the Inspector General for the federal agency. Again, I will say this, I think as federal inspectors general, we did in the past a very poor job of reaching out to all of you, the public auditors, the state and local auditors in the states, to partner with us and to work with us. The pandemic brought us all together in a way that I think never happened before. And it's something we as IGs on the federal level have agreed amongst ourselves. We need to be better partners with all of you across the country, and whether it's in the Pacific Islands, whether it's Puerto Rico, whether it's other Virgin Islands, other parts of the United States. We're not doing as good a job as we should in the past. So I would encourage you to partner with IGs. I'd also encourage you to partner with the Government Accountability Office, GAO. They've done a lot of work reaching out as well to the oversight community. I think all three of us need to bring that together. We're much stronger working together and collaborating together on this and bringing those kind of concerns to the agencies we oversee. Because many of them, it is, again, I know this from the Justice Department, sometimes extraordinarily hard to break through and find the right person, have them care. And if I'm having trouble as the Justice Department IG, when I'm sitting in the Justice Department in Washington, I can only imagine the challenges you're having when you're thousands of miles away and don't have the ability to even get to the right people sometimes to work with. So that would be one step I would take. And then the other is, again, I think you just have to be essentially relentless in reaching out to the agency itself directly and seeing if you can get to the right place. But again, if they have an Inspector General, that person should be able to help you find the right place to go as well. So I think there's a lot of reasons to do that, and I'm more than happy to help facilitate that and work with you all and work with the people to try and bring people together and give you the right connections you need, given my earlier role as the chair of the IG Council. So I would be more than happy to help play that role.
Thank you very much. And that might be one of the first steps is when you gather with your colleagues to bring this issue up. And I'm hoping that we could collectively decide what needs to be done and then get it going. Because there are a lot of misuse of funds out here in the Pacific. Anybody have any question for General Horowitz? I guess not, Mr. General Horowitz. They're all kind of shy. They actually want to go out to lunch pretty soon, I guess. But on behalf of APIPA Conference, Sijus Maasi, Olomwai, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much and have a great conference. Thank you for having me.